Welcome to the Liberace Mansion.
Welcome to Under the Vegas Sun, looking at the people, the events, and the news surrounding Las Vegas and the entire Vegas Valley. Hello, I'm Steve Shore. We are live from the Liberace Mansion. Entertainment, Las Vegas style. Over the years, it has changed from the Rat Pack to the stars that are on the Las Vegas Strip to some of the great names in entertainment, the shows like Cirque du Soleil. There's also been another facet to the Las Vegas entertainment scene. They're called the tribute artists and the tribute bands. Today on our program, you'll meet one of the truly great tribute artists. He has a show that is second to none. His name, Rob Garrett. You'll meet Rob in just a couple of seconds. Stay with us.
Hello, this is Keith Evans at the Lion Habitat Ranch. We'd like you to come out and visit our ranch. There's 38 lions, a giraffe that paints, ostriches, emus, and birds. We do school tours, general admission, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and behind-the-scenes tours every day of the week. Besides coming in as general admission, you can also pay extra to help our animals, and you can feed the giraffe. You can feed one of the lions, or you can have Ozzy paint a custom canvas for you. You can also buy Ozzy paintings in the gift shop. While we do our demonstrations at 12 and 2 of Ozzy painting, all those canvases are available for purchase. In addition to everything you can do here in person, you can find us on the website, lionhabitatranch.org, where you can make your reservations online or buy your paintings online. Thank you very much. Please come.
Hey, it's Mark Chinook from Monday's Dark, and you are watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Shore.
Talent. It's such a tough thing to come across in today's world. When you have talent, often it bridges many different gaps. Sometimes that talent is playing the piano like our amazing Liberace. Sometimes it's singing. Sometimes it's all of that combined. Our very special guest today has talent, bar none, of just pure singing. And because of that, he's become known as the King of Diamonds. But why? It's really because of the talent he has. His name, Rob Garrett. Welcome to our program, sir.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Bar none, you have amazing talent. I've seen you perform, I've seen your shows, I've seen all of those things. It has to begin someplace. It has to begin somewhere. Before we get into who you are and what you are,
okay.
When was it the first time you figured out, yeah, I've got this thing called talent?
It took me a long time to actually sit down and say, well, I guess I have some talent, because I'm going on 36 years of being a performer in this town. And I guess when enough people tell you something, whether it's true or not, you believe it.
So the audience in looking at you right now kind of figured out this amazing talent that you have. 2013, you were named the Tribute Artist of the Year. Mm-hmm. You are an amazing tribute artist for Neil Diamond.
Thank you.
Your shows have been called some of the best tribute shows ever to take place. But it all began as a young man pretty far from the city, Las Vegas, in New York City.
It did.
As a kid growing up in New York City. Mm-hmm. And you really didn't even start to perform or even think you had quote unquote talent until you were like 13 years old, right?
I started playing guitar and just started singing it when I was about 13 years old. So I was a beginner talent.
Beginner
You know,
talent.
I mean, I didn't think I had talent. I just thought I'm gonna learn how to have talent, or hopefully people will appreciate what I'm doing.
But growing up in New York City, I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
you're a New York City kid. You know, I was a New Jersey kid, so I understand that.
Yeah.
Growing up in New York City, all of a sudden picking up a guitar and saying, I think I'm going to sing or play guitar, probably not the most popular thing with the kids around the corner, right?
Well, especially not when your heroes are Elvis and Neil Diamond and so forth, and they're listening to Led Zeppelin and so forth. But so me and my friends had differences in musical tastes and so forth. But there were only two things I knew I wanted to do growing up in New York City. One was, and I think every New York City kid wants to be a baseball player. You know, and that
New Jersey kids wanted the same thing.
Hey, it's the same thing. We're from the same neck of the woods. And the second thing, after seeing Elvis so many times, I said I want to do that. You know, I want to do that, and that's basically, I wanted to become a performer.
So 1974, your parents moved to Las Vegas. 1974.
They did.
1974, Las Vegas was a lot different than Las Vegas is today. Las Vegas, 1974, had places like the Aladdin Hotel. It had places like the Dunes. It had places like the Silver Slipper. It had
That's
places.
right.
It had different places on the Las Vegas Strip. The population then, if I'm not mistaken, around 320,000 in 1974. Not that big of a city.
Nope.
Here you come from New York City.
Right.
What did you think when you came to Las Vegas in '74?
Well, I remember Dad had a job opportunity, and I remember him telling the family, and he was between jobs, but he got a job here. And I'd already been here, believe it or not, even though I was a little kid, I'd been here as a tourist with my mom and grandmother. They took me along, and I was enthralled, overwhelmed with the city because, again, at that time, I wanted to be, I knew I was somewhere down the line I was going to be a performer or a musician, and I ended up being both. So when I came here, I was, again, when Dad said we're moving, I was ecstatic,
And it was because of you coming here, was the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that you had a chance to see Neil Diamond perform. It was the opening
That's right.
of what was going to be known as the Performing Arts Theater at the Aladdin Hotel.
Yeah, and you remember that.
I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, me too.
And all of a sudden you see Neil Diamond perform. Was there something that clicked and said, wait a minute, I can do this?
At that time, absolutely not. Because at that time I had no idea I was going to be Neil Diamond. But and at that time I'd already seen, from living here, Elvis a certain amount of times, and I never thought anyone can produce that kind of charisma as Presley could. And when I saw Neil for the first time, I said, he's pretty much, I saw him in his heyday.
If not in some ways greater.
Yeah.
His connection with the audience was amazing.
And he was, Elvis
Still is today.
Elvis is Elvis, and no one's going to ever take anything away from him. But charismatic and good-looking, and back in '76, it was a historical concert because it was our bicentennial weekend, if you remember.
That's right.
And he called 3 shows, and they sold out like that. And they added 2 more, and they sold out. But I was lucky to go with Mom to the final concert. And I saw him, and I was just like, my jaw dropped, and I said, wow, he's
Not that many years from there, you started your own band.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a tribute band, right?
Nope.
It was a popular band at that time.
Yeah,
you played all over Vegas.
Yeah, we did, and got to go to England and Norway and so forth. But it wasn't a tribute band, but like most bands, it was a cover band. So that, little beknownst to me, I was actually in training to be Neil Diamond because I did a lot of his stuff in my band. But I did it as me, but I would always make it a point to try and sound as much like the artist. If we did a song by Roy Orbison, because I was the lead singer, but I wasn't the only singer, even though I was the lead singer. If we did a song by Roy Orbison or Elvis or or Dion or whoever. Or I would try to make it sound like the original recording artist. The most attention I got was, from my audience, was when I did Neil Diamond.
So for 5 years you had this band, right?
15.
15 years
yeah.
you had the band.
From 80 to 95.
15 years you had the band.
Yep.
So 1983, a good friend of mine who's been on this show before, by the name of Johnny Stewart, started a wonderful production in Las Vegas.
That's right.
Called Legends in Concert. It was, and it still is here today, but it was an amazing show.
It was.
He found the most incredible tribute artist that I had ever seen before, that anybody had ever seen, and put them all together in a single show.
And at first it was all, if you remember correctly, at first it was all deceased people.
It was all deceased people. That's
right.
where it began from.
Yep.
And he had a problem actually doing and bringing in eventually those performers who were still alive and still performing.
Yep.
He kind of felt as though that was a strange thing.
Yep.
And somehow, and I know it's a story, you tried out for something.
I did. It took me a long time to decide to make that transition from band guy to impersonator, which are now we call a tribute artist. Yeah, right, politically correct. So it took me a while, but I heard so many people over the years that were coming to my band, and we had quite a following with the band, with Rock and Roll Heaven. And people would say, when you do Neil Diamond stuff, you sound just like Neil Diamond. And we used to have a lot of people from Legends come in and sit in with us, because that's the music we played. So we played, the Elvis stuff or the Marilyn stuff. We could play that. And I used to hear it for years, and all my best friends, you got to try out for Legends, you got to try out for Legends. And finally, after 15 years with the band, when I figured I'd done everything possible a local band can do, I need to start looking at my future. And basically, I knew the impersonators made more than the band guys did.
Did somebody say, Rob, look at you. You're Neil Diamond. Rob, you're Neil Diamond. What?
Absolutely not, because
really?
If you look at my picture, if you look at me when I was with my band, vocally they would say, you sound like him. You wouldn't have made the connection, because I look at my pictures in the 80s and I don't look like Neil Diamond.
This is not plastic surgery, right? This is just
not,
you.
It's not. I obviously had to learn how to do the hair, and I was actually taught by.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, me too. But and by the way, it's all mine.
Yeah, I know.
I know. It's all mine. But I had to learn how to style it, and at first I actually, because I had longer hair, at the beginning I bought a wig because I didn't know this was going to turn into a career.
Oh, it's been a career.
It's become a career, but at first I didn't realize. And I put the wig on and filled in the eyebrows, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, well, I can do this. I think I can do this.
So we're going to take a break for a couple seconds. When we come back, I'm going to try to entice you into maybe doing something that you do so well, which is sing Neil Diamond.
I would love to.
We'll be right back in a couple seconds. I'm going to tell you, wait until you hear this. This will be something else. We'll be right back. Stay with us. News. In today's world, news has become even more important in our lives. Hello, I'm Steve Shore. For some 40 years, Las Vegas has been my home, and it's been good to me. Now, I want to give back. That's why I started the Now Report, the independent voice newspaper, fair, balanced, unbiased, online and mobile, and it's free. The time has come for an independent voice, because news is important.
Hello, this is Keith Evans at the Lion Habitat Ranch. We'd like you to come out and visit our ranch. There's 38 lions, a giraffe that paints, ostriches, emus, and birds. We do school tours, general admission, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and behind-the-scenes tours every day of the week. Besides coming in as general admission, you can also pay extra to help our animals, and you can feed the giraffe. You can feed one of the lions, or you can have Ozzy paint a custom canvas for you. You can also buy Ozzy paintings in the gift shop. While we do our demonstrations at 12 and 2 of Ozzy painting, all those canvases are available for purchase. In addition to everything you can do here in person, You can find us on the website, lionhabitatanranch.org, where you can make your reservations online or buy your paintings online. Thank you very much. Please come.
Hi, I'm Frankie Shinta, downtown's king of entertainment. You're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Shore.
Amazing talent, once again, joined by my good friend Rob Garrett. And I'm looking forward to this. But I've got to tell you something.
Yes, sir.
I would think, out of all the performers that you were going to become a tribute artist for, that Neil Diamond would be one of the tougher of the performers because of the way he gave so much to the audience. And let me explain why. One of the great things that I ever watched was a movie starring Neil Diamond called The Jazz Singer. It was the remake of the old Al Jolson movie. And in that movie, he did so many amazing songs and did so many things and put so much into it. In watching you perform, there's a different Rob Garrett that comes out than standing here with me now, isn't there?
Very much so. You know.
How did that come about?
You know, his writing has always been so emotional, and it brings out, I mean, everyone feels, all Neil Diamond fans at least, feel that he's written a song just for them.
Just for them.
Yeah, just for them. And that's his genius. And he's written all kinds of different songs with different feelings and so forth, and a lot of them growing up had a big effect on me, on my heart and so forth. So it's partially being a musician and being a tribute artist, partially being a musician and partially being an actor. So when I'm Rob Garrett now, I'm talking to you, but when I'm on stage...
You stop being Rob Garrett.
I stop being Rob Garrett.
You become Neil Diamond.
I become Neil Diamond. And not every tribute artist, I actually set out to try to convince the audience that they're watching Neil Diamond for the 90 minutes.
I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask you a favor.
tried.
I'm going to ask you a favor.
Okay.
So I'm sure you have a favorite song of his. I don't know any tribute artist that doesn't have a favorite song of the artist that they're really portraying. So I'm going to ask you to do our audience a favor, and I don't know what your favorite song is. You can tell me. What is your favorite song?
My favorite Neil Diamond song, at least out of the hits, is "I Am I Said."
Really?
Yeah. Well, just like him, we were both born in Brooklyn, and being a small, a young boy moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, that song had a big effect on me.
And considering my heritage, considering
New
all of those
Jersey,
things, and actually going back, Coming to America was my favorite song.
Yeah.
So would you do us a song?
Yeah, I would love to do that. One of my favorite songs too. That song never gets old.
Really?
To that and Sweet Caroline. Well, actually, Sweet Caroline first, and then America would be the two most requested Neil Diamond songs.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to step away.
Huh?
You have a floor. You've got the microphone.
Floor.
You've got a great floor
Right.
in the Liberace mansion.
Beautiful.
How many singers can actually say they sang in the Liberace mansion?
Well, so far, being that this is episode 11, at least 11. Or now it's 11.
The stage, my friend, is all yours.
Thank you.
Enjoy, folks.
Thank you. Your favorite song?
Rob Garrett.
Far, we've been traveling far without a hope, not without a star. We only want to be free. We huddle close and hang on to a dream. On the boats and on the planes, they come to America, never looking back again. They come to America, home. Seems so far away, we're traveling like today. I am a storm, I am a storm. Home, do it in a shiny place. Make our bed and we'll say our grace. Freedom to life burning warm. Freedom to life burning warm. Everywhere around the world, they come to America. Every time that flag's unfurled, they come to America. Got a dream to take them there. They come to America. Got a dream they've come to share. They come to America. They come to America. They come to America. They come to America. They come to America today. 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 My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of the I sing, of the I sing. Today, 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 today.
Amazing. Amazing. So we have a good friend, a mutual friend by the name of Michael Gaughan.
Yes.
Michael Gaughan has a great hotel casino in Las Vegas called the South Point.
One of my favorites.
One of my favorite places.
Yeah.
Greatest restaurant in town called Michael's. It's a great restaurant. But Michael is such a community person and such a wonderful individual. You have a great show coming up this weekend. It's the 50th anniversary tribute, correct?
That is correct.
At the South Point.
On March 10th, 11th, and 12th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it allows you, I would gather, to be able to share this amazing talent of this man and what his songs mean. Coming to America, to me, is not only a song. When you hear the words and when you hear, in today's world especially when we talk about immigration, we talk about the things, we're all still a melting pot of a country. We've all come from different places. And it is so important. And I think the words of Neil Diamond are all about that. And it's got to make you feel special to be able to do that for an audience.
It does. I mean, he wrote that song as a tribute to his own grandparents, just like my own grandparents who came over from Europe, you know, seeking peace and prosperity and freedom and so forth, and coming to a new land. And that it's not a political song, but that was his.
None of his songs were really political.
No, never.
It was all about giving back to the audience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the toughest question that I ask
the toughest
people.
one, huh? Okay.
And I ask this to a lot of performers who are on the program. When you perform, do you perform for you, or do you perform for the audience?
I never perform for me. It's always for the audience. And in my case, being a tribute artist, it's for them, especially. A lot of them in my audience are not necessarily hardcore Neil Diamond fans, but it's for me to relay all these great songs to them. That a lot of them, sometimes they're hearing. A lot of people in the audience, they're hearing some of these songs for the first time. I mean, everybody knows Sweet Caroline in America, but I do something like Shiloh or The Story of My Life, or I'll always pull something a little obscure out of the hat, and they go, wow, I never heard that song by Neil Diamond before, or they don't even realize that he wrote I'm a believer, you know, and then
Exactly.
you order red wine,
Yep.
you know, and they go, no, that was UB40 red wine. Nope,
No.
that's Neil
Neil
Diamond.
Diamond.
Yeah, that's Neil Diamond.
I want to thank you, my friend, for being with us. You're a true talent. As I said in the beginning of the show, you are one of those individuals that gives so much back to not only to the community, but to the entertainment field. And I'm very honored that you have joined us today, and I mean that sincerely.
I'm honored to be here with you. I've been watching you for years and lived here. You said it since '74, so you've been one of my TV heroes. So it's an honor for me as well.
Thank you, my friend. To all of you, it is about talent, and it's about entertainment. It's about this wonderful town and how great it is for us to be able to share all of that with you from this incredible place called the Liberace Mansion. It kind of gives you a feel of what entertainment has done for this community. We'll be back in a couple of seconds with some closing words. Stay with us. Hello, I'm Steve Shore. I've been proud to host the TV show Under the Vegas Sun. We've had mayors and entertainers and some of the true movers and shakers of Las Vegas. Well, we're growing again. We'll now be seen in 209 cities in America through our network, Walk TV, as well as in 6 foreign countries. And in Las Vegas, we'll also be seen 4 times each week on Cox Communications, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m., and now Sundays at 7 p.m. on channels 1096 and 96. I just wanted to say thank you.
Hi, I'm Eamon Springall of Stitched at the Cosmopolitan, and you're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Shore.
Thank you, Rob, for your amazing insights, not only into Neil Diamond, but your own truly amazing career. We'll look forward to your 50th anniversary show. Well, July 4th weekend will be a big time in Las Vegas, and we have just learned one of the best and greatest of all the British heavy metal bands will be coming to Las Vegas for that weekend. Iron Maiden, that's right, Iron Maiden, will star at the T-Mobile Arena that weekend. Until the next time, I'm Steve Shore. Do be safe and enjoy life under the Vegas sun.
Hello, this is Keith Evans at the Lion Habitat Ranch. We'd like you to come out and visit our ranch. There's 38 lions, a giraffe that paints, ostriches, emus, and birds. We do school tours, general admission, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and behind-the-scenes tours every day of the week. Besides coming in as general admission, you can also pay extra to help our animals, and you can feed the giraffe. You can feed one of the lions, or you can have Ozzy paint a custom canvas for you. You can also buy Ozzy paintings in the gift shop. While we do our demonstrations at 12 and 2 of Ozzy painting, all those canvases are available for purchase. In addition to everything you can do here in person, you can find us on the website, lionhabitatranch.org, where you can make your reservations online or buy your paintings online. Thank you very much. Please come.
This has been a presentation of VATV.